Thanks very much. And I know that we're the last session in this morning. So I promise we're going to keep this short and insightful. And first of all, I want to thank all of you for making the time and coming to this breakout session. And thank you for that. So we're going to be spending the next 20 minutes or so to focus on emerging channels. That means chat, messaging, and even voice platforms, right? So when we talk about emerging channels, and so much out there is all about the tech, shiny objects. I know that for business stakeholders like yourself, sometimes it's very difficult to filter or tell apart what is applicable immediately and in near term actually can impact my business, and what is actually blue sky endeavor and maybe does not justify the immediate ROI. So what I want to do is for this session to really focus on use cases that's actually very practical and readily applicable for your business. So that's going to be my promise, and you will tell me how we do at the end of it. So a little bit about Linc. Linc is a leader in this space of automated customer care platform, and it's really looking into the intersection of AI. So looks like we're having a theme here this morning, right? Continue talking about AI to be applied in different areas of tying to commerce business, and then we're going to be talking about specifically everything under the umbrella of customer care, and that will lead to some very meaningful use cases immediately. But before we get into that, just take a moment to look at what have changed in the world of shoppers today, right? And shoppers today are so much more empowered with options. We all know about this. Even a simple search of a white shirt will lead to so many different product variations and results, different price point options. But more importantly, to really recognize that the options are not just in the amount of product alternatives, price point alternatives, but it's also in the services that different shopping destinations are providing to them. Right, from next day delivery to different return policies or click to break type of fulfillment options. All of these service options are also what today's shopper are taking into account. They're really looking into the combination between product and best service elements that make their shopping decisions where they need to shop. And emerging channels only make things even tougher, right? So all the, messaging applications, messaging apps continue to challenge what real-time means and what ease of interaction really means. I'm just going to do a quick survey here. How many of you this morning has sent out a text message? Yeah, don't be shy. I know you're not paying attention to the presentations. And I did that too. So we just can't do that, hold back. Interaction is so easy, so easily available. What's really interesting here we want to emphasize is that not only we prefer some of the easy and quick interactions for our personal communications, the survey has shown that today's consumers preferring that quick, easy channels for business communications as well, right? So they want to hear from your brand through messaging channels, and they want you to be there for them when they on demand want to come back to you and talk to you. So beyond just messaging channels where we're very familiar with, and voice is on the rise as well. And many of you knows about the huge success that Amazon had in the voice space, and so is Google Home. 40 million US households are predicted to have voice-enabled devices in their household. When they have it in their household, the whole family interact with it. And I believe the number came out actually 2 months ago already. Alexa alone has penetrated more than 12% US household, right? So when you think of that number, it's not just a very, very small niche early adopters, maybe it's for the future. It's really worthy to be noticed. And all this, how consumers using the channel is not just listening to music, so check weather, maybe turn off my lights. They are using these channels for commerce applications already. Actually, 1 out of 3 Echo owners has made a purchase assisted by Alexa. If you're in the space of selling products that's consumable, I'll share another stunning number with you. 7% repurchase lift immediately following someone uses reordering function on Alexa. And we are talking about voice channel still at the very beginning, right, as an ecosystem. So this kind of number and of relevance to commerce really is mind-opening for us. So to recap a moment, that modern shoppers not only have options to product, services, but also interaction mediums. So we're looking at this age of customer where our business is all about serving shoppers, and that's just get tougher. If we can focus on customer, that should be a good business. So let me just give some numbers around what that may mean for your business, right? So there's numerous research have shown there's a very direct association between a brand's profitability to the brand's customer experience. And in the latest Merrimaker Internet Trend Report for this year, she has showed a very interesting stats, right? And from 2016, more than 80% of the customers actually stopped doing business with the company after a poor customer service experience. Right, and they are more demanding over the years. Actually, there is a 6-point increase if you compare to just 2014 data. That's just 2 years difference. You can see that shopper actually become less patient and more demanding. So with all of this, now we got to dig into what are the risk factors throughout the shopping journey where we may have missed the mark in delighting her or meeting her expectations, right? A lot of it is happening on your site, but a lot of it is happening when it's outside of your website, right? And part of the shopping journey, such as like someone placed an order, but they haven't received the product. It's on their mind over a few days period of time, what happened to my order? If I really need to exchange or return something, do you make that easy for me? And replenishment, right? If I run out cosmetics and need to buy again, is reordering easy, re-engagement easy? All of this typically are considered or isolated in our organization as a customer care issues, a cost of doing business matter, right? But more and more so, especially the leading brands recognize that all of these touch points are actually touch points so crucial for that consumer. If you truly build a customer-centric business, you want to bridge and bring in those touch points as part of your holistic thesis in building a truly customer-centric brand. And when you can do that, you have longevity in the profitable business you're building. You actually can tackle both the cost factor and the lifetime value factor at the same time. So I promise you at the very beginning that we're gonna leave you some very practical tips and things you could do in a matter of a few weeks and actually start seeing results. Right, we're in the summertime and you really can actually start leveraging these channels, make a meaningful impact for this holiday season. And here are the 5 tips I want to leave with you. And offering your customer options. Yeah, you won't know actually. It's not like every one of your shoppers will like Messenger or voice channel, but give them the options and have a way to meet their expectation on real-time services, real-time way of interacting with them, and streamlining your services and actually the different pieces of the shopper journey make that a non-stop and endless and seamless interaction. And finally, the intelligence comes in when all of these interactions taking into account the past dealings the customer had with your brand. So having context is extremely important and learn from these new channels. So we're gonna spend a little bit of time and also share with you some actual data, actual case studies that we had with brands across the different verticals. Firstly, let's take a look of what does that mean to offer your customer options for interacting with your brand. If you have a direct-to-consumer business, everybody shops from your site or from your app. At some point, sees a confirmation page, and you have this real, real estate property already, and put this into use to actually build a long-lasting connection with your customer even after that transaction, right? So the example showing here is that you can easily take a step to say, we're going to make it available to keep you informed on what happened to your order. If you're in the business of consumable product, you can also let your customer know. You can remind them when they're needing reordering and so on. So let's take a look at some data and also actual use case experiences that our customer, JustFab, Shudazo are able to leverage. Right after checkout, they provide customer these options, and it's up to the individual shopper to choose the channels they prefer. If they want to opt in for Facebook Messenger, hey, because of that utility value, now JustFab and Shudazo as a brand gets into that customer's primary contact book. And that channel is a two-way communication channel. Not only you can keep your customer informed by sending proactive communications on order status and more. And they can come back to this channel, ask questions anytime. This can be 1 a.m. at night where your customer service agent is not really working, but your brand should be always on, right? 24/7, always on, always easily accessible. So not only they can see their status, it's a really rich medium, and they can see where their package is at, and very interactive channel. How did it work for the brands use this mechanism? 13.9% of the shoppers, that means every single shopper shops with the site and opt in for Messenger. And only 68 basis points, under 1% of them ever opt out. And once they opt in, they continue to opt in. They come back shopping again. They don't have to opt in again. They now, in their Messenger, together with their friends and families in their contact book, they have your brand in their contact book. They can hear from you, and they can come back and interact with you. Lime Crime in the cosmetics space, and it's a very fast-growing, kind of a young adult cosmetics brand. They're doing very successfully in social media already, but they're gonna take it to the next level. When they start offering text message alerts with their customer, 43% of them opt in. That's a stunning number. And what's even more interesting is that after they opt in, once they start to receive alerts from Lime Crime, 42% of them actually click on a short URL like embedded in that alert, and that URL can lead to them to more values Lime Crime offer to them and more engagement elements as well. So making this customer interaction more convenient for the shopper across all of this channel, that's what we're talking about. Now, real-time needs. Right? And we talked about customers become more demanding and less patient. Our job just get tougher. And you really can't provide real-time interaction all count on your human agents, right? It's very, very expensive, very difficult to scale. And a lot of time, even when you have live agents online, they may have to look up multiple systems to find the information so they can actually deliver answers and solve problems for their shoppers. And that's where AI and bots have advantage with. It's the ability to scale, but also run that at individual level data. So that means individual level intimacy with your shoppers, right? So this is actual examples. We have numerous examples like this where shopper actually interact with the bot on demand. Not only they can get answers, they really express themselves, give the brands feedback. They're talking to the brands almost like they're talking to human. That the type of interaction behavior you don't typically see for digital channels. You may see that in the store, on the store floor, they interact with one of your sales agent, but now you can bring that level of intimacy into your digital channel as well. Now, we found that 74% of the shopper actually opt in for some level of bots interaction. They really don't use the Facebook Messenger channel just to receive notifications passively. 3/4 of them interact back. Honestly, when we launched this service, we only expected if we can get 1/3 of them to interact back. That means it's a great start. We got to celebrate. And now we're talking about we're powering over 20 enterprise bots across the channels, and consistently they get 3/4 of them interact back. We don't see this behavior in text messages. We see great engagement we talked about earlier. They click on URLs, but they don't necessarily on-demand interact back. But Messenger is different. Very, very interesting stats. And now today, the bots automated services are actually can auto-serve already over 80% of the shopper services. And that's the real-time needs we're introducing to all of the interactions. And streamlining, making sure that shopper can get things done. Don't create the experience, give them the touch point, but when they come here, you ended up with say, I can't solve your problem, even I understand you, you have to go somewhere else. That will be the frustrating point, right? So to do this well, you actually do need to integrate to the back end of your commerce capability as much as possible. Let's use return as the example. This is a fast-growing global cosmetics brand, #1 cosmetics brand in Europe, Kiko Milano. And we're powering their Facebook bots and on return front. If you look at now, a customer come back, want to do a return, get help on a return. A bot not only comes out knowing exactly what is eligible for return, guiding you through that process, and quickly surveys through an interactive dialogue while you're returning, and provide you a prepaid shipping label, right? And they are an omni-channel retailer too, and this also applies if you allow them to bring back to the store to return for your online orders, educate them right there. All the bots can actually apply all of these return policies tailored for your brand, real-time serve that shopper. This is what we mean convenience. This is what we mean like streamline all the way to get things done for your customer. Then we're not stopping there. Right? We re-engage the shopper because the bot actually runs on real-time data that knows actually what you're returning, why you're returning, and also your past dealing history. Would other customer return this product and end up buying again? All of those insights is available to the bot at real time. Now we can effectively recommend to the customer what else they may be interested in. The results, it's a stunning 14% returns are turned into new purchases. And Forrester data showed across all the direct-to-consumer businesses brands out there, return is 12% of GMV for our industry, 12% of your top-line revenue. And for certain verticals, if you're apparel and certain cosmetics verticals, you have even higher return costs, right? So this can really impact your business. And again, this is another example, but it's a bridge into voice channels. I'm going to speak it up a little bit. I promise you this is going to be fast and short, right? So in voice channels, when you have a business that customers want to frequently reorder, now reorder should be really, really easy. And not only Amazon can do this, your brand can do this if you do it right? All these channels, OK Google, Google Home, Alexa, is actually channels for you to play in too. And when you do this in a contextual way, you can drive engagement and upsell, cross-sell much more effectively. That means top-line revenue impact. So these are some of the examples. And Carter's, one of the largest children's clothing brand, and serving contextual services. In this case, not only their customers use a lot of these text message alerts to benefit from the value Carter's add for them from a convenience perspective, Carter's contextually prompt to the customers feedback and surveys. And they've been running feedback surveys through email for years, right? And you get a very small percentage of customers actually provide feedback. And now contextually couple that together with a messaging alert, and they get 4 out of 9 give feedback and a much richer experience. The same level of context that's available for the bots to auto assist the shopper also can be passed to your human agent as augmented information, help our human agent to function better too. So finally, all of these digital interactions create an opportunity in the sense of the richness of data. All this interaction I talked about happen digitally, and they're recorded, and you can learn from it. So examples like this, that you can see customers, because they converse, almost like they're conversing with a human, they are very expressive. They give you rich amount of data. AI come in, crawling on that data, can suggest to you what customer like, what customer don't like. Sentiment analysis on individual level, all of that is the learning that can be done by leveraging machine learning and AI type of technology. And in this example, you actually can even looking into at what phases of our fulfillment and logistics customer tend to have more questions and draw insights, maybe making improvements on the back-end operation for your business and so on and so forth. So I'm going to skip some of the how question, given the time. I'm being reminded here. I don't want to delay your lunch. But feel free to come to talk to us if you're curious about, okay, all of these use cases, if it resonates with you, and come to talk to us, and there's a different ways you could implement this very quickly. You can see ROI in 90 days, right? So. And lastly, I just want to thank you. And this is my email over there on the screen found at let'slinc.com. We are actually having exclusive reports about AI and application of AI in customer care specifically that's coming up. The report is put together, done by exclusive interview for over 100 retail and brand retailer executives. If you want access to that report, give us an email and we'll make sure that you get a digital copy of that. Thank you.